Ready? Come here. That's an awkward pass.
Hush now, my wild child. You'll never be what everybody wants. So it's best to be yourself. You've chosen your path well.
Good morning. What you see here is not merely a magician's trick, but is the new strategy for putting pants on the child. We'll see how it goes. Step 1. Capture the feet. Begin the transfer. It's not working.
Failure. Failure.
Go back to the old way.
But he thinks it's funny.
Put these pants on. Yesterday, it was kind of funny. He actually did help me, though, to get his stuff on.
He's been arching when I put Joe to do this. He starts pushing down on his feet.
There you go. Hey, howdy ho! Headed to work for the day. Sean's in the work truck in front of me. Dancing like a fool. Got a drink that I'm supposed to be sharing with Sean. A very tasty chocolate protein. We'll see how much Sean actually ends up getting, because I've been on a protein kick lately since I'm extra hungry with all this breastfeeding. He might get half, he might get a quarter or a third. We'll see. We are on site working, putting in some edging, and Sean found this. This is a 2-pence piece with Queen Elizabeth II on it. Pretty cool. 2 pence. I think the year on it said 1994. Also, this tree is in beautiful blossom. Sean says when he was here yesterday it was not blossoming, so spring is springing before our very eyes. We finished the edging at that site we were working at. Now we're coming to one of our normal stops, which is the mulch place, the mulch and gravel place. Gonna get some mulch, haul it out, keep going from there.
All problems have been fixed.
Good. He is the problem solver. The wind caught the load. The truck is now partly mulched. Oops.
I realize that I want to be able to write 2 types of songs. The first one is kind of like learning to fly. Learning to fly is about a moment in our relationship, something that mattered to me and to you and kind of has a story there. And I would like to be able to write those stories better than I am right now. Or the other type of songs I want to write are stories about other people. I want to write, I think of the old rock and roll songs or the Beatles that told such good stories with their music, and that's the second type of song that I want to write. It's going to take me a while practicing, honestly, but I feel like I'm much better at writing now than I was, and now not only do I know what I want to write about, I have an idea of how I'm going to do that.
Instead of where you hear the lyrics, like some music on the radio, and you go, what? How are these people making millions?
We just heard, and it's not necessarily a bad beat, it's catchy, but we just heard a song, I don't remember what it's called, but the main lyric is, if you want a menage, I've got a tricycle, or something like that. That's the part that gets emphasized over and over again. And you compare that type of songwriting to something like, blackbirds singing in the dead of night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You know, there's a song in that. There's a story there. There's something that's meaningful and deeper than just, if you want a menage, I've got a tricycle. What does that even mean? Like, who cares?
We are done with work for the day. Me and Tibbs have come back to pick up Sean. There he is. And look at this. Look at this gorgeous view. On the way to pick up Sean, I saw some boys doing parkour. So, and I know that they were doing it because they were wearing the same thing that we wear when we train. They were wearing baggy sweats and t-shirts, and there was
Typical parkour clothing.
there was like I think there was 3 of them, and they were practicing running jumps. And so now I'm driving back to that spot so I can show Sean real quick.
And Natalie is at 6 weeks today, and she is okay to start training again. So
Woo!
we are going to have parkour popping up more and more in our daily vlog. It'll take a little while, I think, to get into a rhythm with Tibbs here. But sometime in the next few weeks, we'll be having some parkour daily vlogging.
They were training right here on this part, running jumps. There was 3 of them. They might have gone to the park by now. But now we know that there are other people in Manitou that train, so sometimes it's nice as tracers to find other people and be like, oh hey, you train? I train. We should train together sometime. That's a really common thing to happen in the parkour world.
And we're brand new here, and we have found some training spots that we like, but we're still looking for them, and we haven't found anybody that trains here, so it's exciting to know that there's parkour everywhere now. I remember a day when all we had were forums with grainy pictures that took forever to load. It took me years to learn how to dash vault because YouTube didn't exist. And I was practicing on the completely wrong obstacle. And I ended up with so many bruises on my butt and hips.
On your butts.
On my butts.
Multiple butts.
So it's nice to live in a world where we can find other people to train with now.
Hello. We wanted to check in and give a 6-week update because today makes 6 weeks.
You're 6 weeks old today. Yeah, baby. Good job. You did it.
So tomorrow I get to go back to doing things like exercise. I'm going to start doing abdominal exercises tomorrow. This guy, what about this guy?
He holds his head up pretty much constantly. Like if we're burping him, he just holds it up. He doesn't like to rest it very often unless he's tired.
He loves to wake up in the morning anytime between like 7 and 9, and that's when he gets his daddy time. Sean takes him for sometimes up to 2 hours is the longest, I think, but every morning he goes and he plays with Sean, and they have a lot of smiles.
And he's a little giggly thing, and I gotta get him dressed in the morning most of the time.
He's precious. He's just so bright and happy in the morning.
And that gives Mom time to get a little bit of extra shut-eye so that Mom can be bright and happy throughout the rest of the day.
So that Mom can put on a face and pretend to be bright and happy the rest of the day. He is now sleeping in longer blocks of time. He'll sleep sometimes for like 3 hours.
Tell the camera! Tell the camera!
Oh, come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. That's an awkward pass.
That was worst pass yet.
Hey, you.
We tried.
Sorry.
He wants to eat.
We had to readjust. Anyway, he's now sleeping in longer chunks for the first time overnight last night.
He hit 5 hours, right?
5 hours. I think that was actually kind of an accident, but yeah, I fed him at like right before midnight, and then I had to wake him up at 5 and feed. I was like, Sean, did you feed him since I last fed him? And he's like, no. It's like, oh, it's been 5 hours. He needs to eat. So he's getting to the point where he's going longer between meals, and which is good. gives us a little more breathing space, and it means that he's regulating, you know, his digestion is doing well, and that he's actually eating fuller meals and not just basically like snacking all day, which is good.
And it's actually has a big effect on the rest of the family, because Nat getting just a little bit more sleep changes her day entirely, and changing her day changes my day entirely. That's all for the better, so we're really grateful that he is sleeping. Things he dislikes. He seriously dislikes waiting for food. He's very patient with anything else, but once he tells you that he's hungry, he wants to eat right then.
It becomes an immediate crisis. Everything else stops until he can eat.
So he's related to his parents.
It's related to me for sure. He hates wet diapers. He will poop to high heaven
and sit in it for
just
hours
sit
and not
there,
care.
and he'll just be like, I'm good. It's just poop. But if he pees and you don't start changing it within like
A couple
30
minutes. Like,
yeah, within like 2 minutes, he just flips.
that is actually, he cries worse then than when he's hungry. Like when he's hungry, he does this like, it's a very specific cry, but it's not that loud most of the time. It's usually just like, I think, letting us know he's hungry. When he sits in a wet diaper for longer than just a couple minutes, he legitimately starts screaming.
He has a big boomy voice like his dad's, so when he screams, you definitely know.
Most babies do like an ooh. His is more like ooh. Like, it's really kind of funny. He loves his car seat. He loves car rides. Anything that has to deal with that. Nat put him in the car earlier today, and he knows it, or he knows as soon as you put him in the car seat what's happening. Like, he'll calm down most of the time. He looks at you, waits for everything to get adjusted, and he loves going to sleep in the car.
The breeze blows on his face. He likes the breeze in his face because he is our wild child.
Yeah, our wild child.
Now on his face he feels a breeze. Hey you. He makes pterodactyl noises all the time. Sometimes he trumpets like an elephant. Not
Oh
even
yeah, it's
kidding.
the funniest thing. Like anytime he stretches,
When he
it's
stretches.
like he just pushes all this air out, and he's got, I think, kind of like a groan in here, while at the same time
I know, I
like-
can't even do it.
it tickles my mouth just to try it, and he gets pretty loud. He's pretty
He
good
might
at
get
it.
that from my side of the family. Whenever we stretch, like especially when my dad stretches, he's like so loud about it.
He loves the dog. He's just like, we've been keeping him pretty separate from the pets, and so it's just been the past little while that they've been really good, and so we'll have moments where we let them get a little closer, and he's pet the dog, and it just brings him so much joy to have the dog come over by him.
The look of wonder and awe is so cool to watch.
Well, guys, we were going to do a little bit more, but our camera is dying, and we need to go finish editing yesterday's vlog. So, thank you for watching,